Now, today, Time magazine named U.S. President-elect Donald Trump its Person of the Year, citing his deep impact on American politics and the country's role in the world. To commemorate this election, Trump rang the opening bell of the New York Stock Exchange, where he was joined by close family and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance, amongst others. The bell ringing signifies the start of the trading day at the world's largest stock exchange and is considered an honor. Well, thanks so much for your time. This is Focus on Africa. I'm Wahiga Mwaura. Goodbye for now.
It's 6 p.m. in London. This is The World Today with Maryam Moshiri. Syria's new government says they'll suspend the constitution and parliament, while G7 nations call on them to respect women's rights.
And I'm Lise Doucette in Damascus, where hundreds marched through the streets today at the funeral for a prominent opposition critic whose tortured body was found in a prison here this week.
A ringing endorsement for Donald Trump, Time magazine's Person of the Year once more, as he opens trading on the New York Stock Exchange. Also coming up on The World Today. Is it the weightlifting squirrel, or perhaps it's the smooching owlets? We reveal the winner of the Global Nikon Comedy Wildlife Awards 2024. Hello and welcome to The World Today on BBC News. The leader of the Syrian rebel group HTS, which overthrew the Assad regime, says the new government will suspend Syria's constitution and parliament as it works out how to govern the country. The international community is monitoring events closely, and with so much uncertainty still surrounding Syria's future, the G7 group of nations has called for women's rights to be respected in the country.
An American who emerged alive, Syrians hope that many more will do the same. Around the world and in the United Kingdom, you're watching BBC News.
Romania and Bulgaria have been confirmed as full members of Europe's Schengen free movement travel zone. It's an area of countries with no internal border checks, so people can move freely between them. The countries partly joined Schengen back in March after an agreement with Austria, which had initially opposed their joining on the grounds they needed to do more to prevent illegal immigration. Well, they'll now become full members on the 1st of January. Romania's president welcomed the decision. You're watching The World Today with me, Maryam Moshiri. As always, if you're stepping away from the television, you can go to the BBC's website. I'm going to show you the front page today, where you can see all the latest stories, updated minute by minute by correspondents and journalists around the world. Stay with us on BBC News. This is The World Today on BBC News. The latest headlines. Syria's new government says they'll suspend the constitution and parliament while G7 countries call on them to respect women's rights. Rates of bowel cancer in younger people are on the rise around the world, but experts are still unclear what's causing the increase. Second time round for Donald Trump as Time magazine names him their Person of the Year once more. New data shows the number of under 50s being diagnosed with bowel cancer is increasing worldwide. Studies are still trying to establish the main causes of bowel cancer, but it's thought poor diet, ultra-processed foods, obesity and a lack of exercise may all be factors. Around the world and across the UK, you're watching The World Today. You're watching The World Today. Time magazine has named the US President-elect Donald Trump as their Person of the Year for the second time. The magazine's editor-in-chief, Sam Jacobs, said Mr. Trump was chosen for making a comeback of historic proportions, reshaping the American presidency and altering America's role in the world. Well, to commemorate the honour, Mr. Trump rang the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. He was first named Person of the Year after he won the US presidential election back in 2016. Well, let's have a listen now to how the people of New York reacted to the news.
Have become even more closely intertwined.
That's Michelle Fleury there. Stay with us on BBC News. It's 7 p.m. in London. This is The World Today with Maryam Moshiri. Syria's new government says they'll suspend the constitution and parliament while G7 countries call on them to respect women's rights. Rescued by the rebels, an American man is found wandering the streets after reportedly being freed from a Syrian prison. A ringing endorsement for Donald Trump, Time magazine's Person of the Year as he opens trading on the stock exchange in New York. Also coming up on The World Today, is it the weightlifting squirrel or is it the smooching owlets? We reveal the winner of the Global Comedy Wildlife Awards 2024. Hello and welcome to The World Today on BBC News. The leader of the Syrian rebel group HTS, which overthrew the Assad regime, says the new government will suspend Syria's constitution and parliament as it works out how to govern the country. The international community is monitoring events very closely, and with so much uncertainty still surrounding Syria's future, the G7 group of nations has called for women's rights to be respected. Well, the US is paying particular close attention, with Secretary of State Antony Blinken once again in the Middle East. He had this message to the rebels who overthrew President Assad. Still to come on The World Today. For the second time, Donald Trump has been named Time magazine's Person of the Year. We look at why. Around the world and across the UK, you're watching The World Today on BBC News. Hospital leaders across England are warning they're being struck by a tidal wave of flu and other winter viruses. NHS England says there's been a 70% increase in hospital flu cases in the past 7 days alone. And the total number of people in hospital with flu is 3.5 times higher than for the same time last year. Our health editor Hugh Pym has been to one accident and emergency department to see how this and other pressures are taking their toll. Now, King Charles has been visiting Apple's UK headquarters at Battersea Power Station in London alongside the tech giant's boss, Tim Cook. Take a look at these pictures. It's the Christmas market that he clearly loves. He did a bit of perusing in Battersea Power Station, lots of lovely shops there. The King met with traders, some of whom are actually young entrepreneurs supported by the Prince's Trust programme. So those pictures showing King Charles doing a little bit of light retail therapy ahead of Christmas. We all love a Christmas market, don't we? I love the ones along the South Bank in London as well. But the best ones are always in mainland Europe, aren't they? You're watching The World Today. I'm Maryam Moshiri. Stay with us, plenty more to come. This is The World Today. On BBC News, the latest headlines. Syria's new government says they'll suspend the constitution and parliament while G7 nations call on them to respect women's rights. Rates of bowel cancer in younger people are on the rise globally, but experts are still unclear what's causing the increase. Second time around for Donald Trump as Time magazine names him their Person of the Year once more. Let's turn now back to our top story, and that is Syria. Families there continue to search prisons and hospitals for news of their missing loved ones. Thousands of people have attended the funeral of one human rights activist whose body was found in a notorious prison outside the capital Damascus. Such a show of public support would never have happened there just a week ago when President Assad was still in power. A warning, Yogita Limai's report contains details you may find distressing. Well, still to come on The World Today. For the second time, Donald Trump has been named Time magazine's Person of the Year. We look at why. Around the world and across the UK, this is The World Today on BBC News. The Queen says the reopening of a library which was set alight during riots shows the power of kindness in the face of adversity. Spello Library in Liverpool has been closed since August when violent disorder broke out following stabbings at a dance class in Southport. And now, after thousands of entries, the winner of the Global Nikon Comedy Wildlife Awards has been announced. It's so exciting. Before we get to the winner, let's take a look at some of the few notable mentions. This is Kingston Tam's photo. He took a photo of this awkward, smiling frog. There you go. Who knew he was smiling? He just looked like a frog to me, but hey-ho, what do I know? How about these adorable, smooching little owlets on a branch of a tree? Two of them having a bit of a cheeky kiss, the other one feeling a bit left out. I know the feeling, sweetheart. This squirrel gets in some reps with a bit of weightlifting. Yep. Strong muscles there. I like those biceps and triceps. Work it, baby, work it. And then this, a mantis showing off a spot of flamenco. La la la. But here's the moment you have all been waiting for the entire programme. I know you have. The winner. Here it is. Wondering what that is? Well, this is a photo by Milko Marchetti. He took this hilarious photo of a squirrel stuck in a tree in Bagnacavallo, Italy. There you go, the Nikon Comedy Wildlife Photo of the Year 2024. Amazing. Who knew that there was actually a comedy award for photographs? Brilliant. Now, nearly 7 decades after achieving grade 7 on piano, which I think is brilliant, I haven't got any grades in any instruments, 88-year-old Raymond Everly from East Yorkshire has passed his grade 8. His daughter included some sheet music in last year's Christmas stocking as a bit of a joke, but he surprised everyone by getting a distinction. Simon Spark has been to meet him. Absolutely fantastic. Noddy Holder there telling us exactly how he wakes up his wife on Christmas morning. Thank goodness that was a vanilla story, right? Do stay with us here on BBC News. The Context is coming up with Christian. Bye-bye from me.
Hello there. If you're fed up of the grey, misty and murky conditions